doctor got checked in tonight. Yeah, sorry, doctor. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty fine myself. Are you Christian, atheist, Jewish, Muslim?
I am atheist now. I was a Muslim. Yeah.
Okay. How can I help you?
Doctor, I think to me it looks like the medical error in the Quran, and God being all knowing can't make a mistake in the Quran, right?
Sure.
Can we discuss that?
Go ahead. Which one?
Yeah, it's about Surah Tariq. You must have read it. It says, yeah, An-Najmu Saqib, in kullu nafsin lamma alayha hafiz. Then it goes to فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانَ مِمَّا خُلِقَ, right? Yeah, and then it's created from a spurting fluid that comes from the backbone and the rib cage, but it doesn't the case.
It says between the backbone and the ribs.
Yeah, what does mean that?
Yeah, so it just simply, okay, so you're a doctor, yes?
Yes.
So if I show you that there is in fact a process from between your backbone and ribs that causes for a gushing fluid to come forth from it, what would you say?
No, what is this gushing fluid? Is it sperm?
It could be sperm, yeah. I could show you.
Could be, or it is. Because it says you are created, so we are created from sperms, right? So it's talking about the sperm, right?
It's not, you're not only created from sperm, but it just says يخرج من خلق من
No,
ماء.
خلق من, yeah.
It's okay. خلق من ماء دافق, right? ماء دافق does not necessitate sperm.
And what does يخرج بين الصلب والترائب, between backbone and the rib cage, what does this mean?
Yeah, so
what is the position here?
Yeah,
if
so
in anatomical.
يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب, meaning that this process comes forth from between, something from between the backbone and the ribs.
So, okay, so what that anatomically position would be?
So between your rib cage, the bottom of your rib cage, and the last vertebrae of your spinal column, right? That would be between your backbone and ribs.
So it's somewhere at the lumbar vertebral level, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, here we go. Let me flip my camera around so I can show you. And you could go and, search this up for yourself as well, okay? You don't have to take my word for it. You said you're a doctor, so I'm assuming you probably know what I'm talking about anyway. So here we have what? Here is the testes, yes?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and we have the scrotum, and we have this, which is the vas deferens, correct? This right here. Okay. You see this right here? This red line going into the vertebrae?
Yeah, what's that? How is that labeled? Is it the nerves or is it the artery?
So this is...
It's the sympathetic chains. Okay, these are the nerves, right? Okay, exactly. Sympathetic chains.
So where are these nerves connected to?
They are connected everywhere, so...
Well, no, but this specific one, you see where it says here. So this is between T12, right, and S3.
Oh, but these are the nerves, so then there could be the arteries as well.
Hold on. Yeah, of course it could be the ovaries as well. That's the point. That's why I told you
No,
fluid.
ovaries and arteries.
Arteries, yeah. No, but no. But remember what the verse itself says, right? يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب, right? The fluid comes forth, gushing forth from between the emission of it, right? The occurrence of it occurs from between the backbone and the ribs, yes? So here's the backbone, and the ribs is going to be above T12, right? The end of the ribs is at T12.
Okay.
Right? So between T12 and S3, we have this specific sympathetic center that causes the ejaculation or the sort of the emission of the fluid from the vas deferens into the male's member part. I don't really want to say the word because,
Oh, okay, no worries. But it doesn't say about the arteries that are connections of nerves.
Well, the arteries, no problem. But the arteries,
okay.
The arteries don't cause for the emission to actually occur. The arteries only sustain.
But then we can say the spinal cord is connected to brain. Then on that way we can say the sperm is coming from the brain. I mean, this doesn't make any sense,
Okay, but you know how sympathetic and parasympathetic centers work, correct?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Okay, so can you enlighten us on the difference between the two?
Yeah, sympathetic system is in case of emergency, or it's they both are part of our autonomic nervous system. They work independently, and sympathetic is for especially for the ejaculations. Sorry, parasympathetic, and sympathetic is for erection and all those things.
Right. So the erection, when the erection occurs, this is something which is going to be what was it? You yourself
But
are the
the
one who
word
is
says about yukhruju. It means it's coming forth. It's not saying about the process.
So, like I said, there is other interpretations that the scholars give, right? Such as the fact or the idea that as-sulbi wa tara'ib refers to between the backbone and the loins. So the loins is going to be lower, right? And that would still be correct because the gushing fluid does occur there. Even if I was to tell you it's from between the backbone and the ribs, it still occurs in that area. It makes no difference. The point of what I was showing you is that if you take it from a perspective of the Quran, having these sort of futuristic understandings, things that maybe the people at the time period did not necessarily know of, which is perfectly fine because the Quran is something which is meant for all times, and it's something which is progressive in and of itself. There are prophecies and such that are in the Quran that have not yet come to pass, right? So if they did not necessarily know about the science at that time, the scholars themselves, there's not necessarily an issue.
But this is not scientifically correct.
How is this not? I literally just showed you.
But that was the connections. That was the nerve connections.
Yeah, and the nerve connections cause for those things to occur.
But sperm doesn't come from the connections of the
It
nerves.
doesn't say that it comes from the connections. It says
Yukhruju mean it's ejecting from. It doesn't say that the connection that is getting from the neurological connection that is getting from, that's coming from the backbone and the rib cage between, at the lumbar vertebra. The fluid itself is coming from between the backbone and the rib cage.
Yeah, doctor, again. So how does that action occur? Does this neural link has to occur?
Does it say about the process? Does it say about the process?
Yeah, if you want to nitpick and say that it doesn't say specifically the process, that's up to you, right? I'm simply telling you, how would this situation actually occur? Can it occur without these neural links being there?
Then it can't happen without the brain even.
If you don't like that interpretation, I can absolutely just read you Ibn Kathir, where he talks about the interpretation, and his interpretation is perfectly fine as well. So, which one would you like? I was trying to offer you on a different interpretation that might have been more interesting to you, since you said you're a doctor, at least claiming to be, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I want to understand it scientifically. Of course, I read the
research. The problem is that you're not actually showing a contradiction. You're just saying it's unscientific, but you haven't said what's unscientific about it.
Because sperm comes ejected through penis. It is made in the testes. Okay, fine. But holika mimma indafik. So what is the spurting fluid? What is the spurting fluid from which we are created?
Sure. Yeah. So what is met indafik?
Dafik mean the ejected?
No, ma indafik. What does that mean?
The water which is ejected?
A warm, ejected fluid, correct?
Okay, fine, yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to the ejaculation,
to which holika? Please attach holika as well.
One second. Yeah. Okay. When it comes to seminal fluid, does it only come from the testes?
No, of course not.
Right.
There are other secretions as
well. What else
prostate,
come from?
Prostate as well, seminal vesicles, yeah.
And there's three. There's three.
One is like sperms, of course, that comes from the testes. And those are the major things from which we are born. The other things
about 60%, correct. Okay. What about the next one?
That's the most important thing from which we are born.
Doesn't matter. It says that there is more, right?
Yeah, there could be the other,
What's the other two? What's the other two?
No, one is seminal vesicles, one is a prostate. It could be epididymis. I'm not sure.
No, it's not epididymis.
I have to look into that.
There's the bulbourethral gland. Okay.
Yeah.
You have the prostate gland, and you have the seminal vesicle. Yes, or the testes, rather. Correct.
Okay.
Okay, doctor. So, when it comes to the prostate and it comes to the bulbourethral gland, are these above the testes?
Yes.
Okay. Where specifically are they in respect to the spinal cord? Are they above or below?
Prostate, I need to check the level of prostate.
Prostate is above, and bulbourethral is above.
Yeah, everything is above testes. If you see, if
It's
you're
above the
talking about the
spine
gland.
specifically as well.
Yeah.
At least the end of the spine. So is the verse still correct if it's talking about those vesicles as well?
No, of course not, because
Oh, it's
it is
not?
talking.
So wait, is there fluid that comes forth from these two vesicles?
But it says ejected from
Yes.
between backbone
خلق
and
من
rib
ماء
cage.
دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب. Do those two vesicles, or sorry, do those two glands cause fluid to come forth from between the backbone and the rib?
Though they don't cause the fluid to come forth through.
Oh, they don't? The prostate gland does not have fluid?
They have
Not
contradiction
even
in it.
cause. No. You disagreed with me in terms of the word cause. It simply just says that this fluid is ejected from between the backbone and the ribs. Thank you for that. Thank you for correcting me. So it says that these fluids are ejected from between the backbone and the ribs. It doesn't say cause. You're right. Okay. So is there fluid that is ejected from the prostate and the bulbourethral gland?
They are the part of sperm or semen. Yes, they are the part of
and
semen.
they're from between the backbone and the rib, correct?
They are. There is a big area because
I know it's a big
the
area, but
backbone.
the point is, the point is, hold on.
But the backbone is behind. How it can be
It doesn't
between?
matter. That's not okay. Between the backbone and the ribs is talking about this way, not this way.
No, of course not.
Oh,
Of course
really?
not, because-
Flashback.
Okay, so what that anatomically position would be?
So between your rib cage, the bottom of your rib cage, and the last vertebrae of your spinal column, right? That would be between your backbone and ribs.
So it's somewhere like at the lumbar vertebral level, right?
Yes.
Okay.
End of flashback.
Can you please show me that? Can you please show me that?
Yeah, of course.
Not a
Let
single
me
person-
tell you.
Not a
Because
single person has interpreted that verse.
please
that
give
way.
me a minute. Please give me a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
Because the rib cage is on the top
Yeah.
and spinal column is behind the rib cage. So
And
how
is it
can
also
it be?
below the rib cage?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so why can't it be this way, and why does it have to be this way? What in the verse says that it has to be the way that you're talking about?
Because something should be ventral to that. I mean, something should be interior to that. The spinal
Really?
cord to say.
Where does it say anterior? Because I can reject the idea that it's talking about backbone, and I could simply say that sulb refers to the loins. Because the word sulb in Arabic has multiple meanings, correct? It could refer to loins and it could refer to the backbone, correct? To which I would still be correct in saying testes, bulbourethral gland, and the prostate gland are all between the backbone and the ribs and the loins. Now what? You understand? You understand? 1 second. Let me say one thing and then I'll let you speak, okay? Do you understand the difference between an apparent contradiction and a true contradiction? First of all, it's not even apparent. You just don't understand the verse itself. But moreover, do you understand what a true contradiction is? It means that there can be absolutely no explanation whatsoever offered for the particular verse, right? Or statements or what have you. Do you understand?
Okay, I mean, it could have been making sense to you, but of course, it's not making sense to me.
It
Honestly,
doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't make sense to you that there are 3 different glands in which fluid is produced in the body that is between the backbone and the ribs.
No. I'm trying to say that we are born from the sperms. We are not born from the secretions of prostate or seminal vesicles.
Sir,
Sperms
again,
are the
it
only
doesn't
thing
say
from which we are
sperm.
born.
It doesn't say sperm. It says that this ma'in dafiq يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب. Yes? Do you need me to translate it, or were you just trying to flex Arabic on me for no reason?
No, I'm not trying
So
to
we
deflect
understand
anything.
what the verse says, right? Yeah. Let's break it down for the people in the audience. Yeah.
Yeah, please. Yeah, okay.
خلق means created. خلق من ماء دافق. So he is created from an emergent fluid. Okay. يخرج من بين. Okay. So it comes forth from between الصلب والترائب. Okay. From between the backbone and the ribs. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That spurting fluid. That spurting
Comes
fluid.
forth from between the backbone and the ribs, right? It doesn't say
Yeah,
anything about
okay.
sperm. It doesn't say sperm. It doesn't say what causes it in the verse, right? I'm going with what you said to me earlier, right? You didn't like my first interpretation, so now I'm grilling you on the actual proper interpretation, okay? So it says that this fluid emerges forth from between the backbone and the ribs, correct?
Yes, it says
Does
exactly
it
the same.
specify? Okay, so does it specify any specific fluid in between there? It just simply says that this fluid is something which is engaging in terms of the creation of a human being, correct? Yeah.
Yes, we can say, yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So can you, right, agree that in that process of ejaculation, there is the prostate gland and the bulbourethral gland that also engage with the testes?
But why we are forgetting about the sperm that are the most
It
important
does
thing?
not say sperm, sir, and I did not exclude it. I said that there's the testes, there's the testes.
Yeah, but tests are way lower
Hold
than
on.
everything else.
Hold on.
Tests are lower than everything.
Okay,
So why?
do you understand? Hold on. I'll make it even more clear for you, actually. Do you know where the nerve cells come from? Which gland specifically do the nerve cells of the nerve cells specifically, they are what allow for the sperm to be sort of in a proper environment. They allow for them to be in a proper environment as it pertains to the curation. I believe it's the nerve cells. It might be actually different cells in terms of one of the glands. So one of the glands, okay, there's a particular cell that allows for the sperm production to actually be proper as opposed to improper. Do you know which of those two glands allows for that? Or sorry,
So
which of the
talking about
three?
glands or hormones? Because there are some hormones.
The glands. One of the glands produces a specific hormone that allows for these for the sperm to
If you're
be
talking
in
about,
proper
I think you're
environment.
talking about Sertoli cells and Leydig cells. These are the cells that produce
No.
follicle stimulating.
I'm not talking about the specific cells. I'm asking you which of the glands produces the stabilizing hormone for the sperm in order for them to actually, properly leave. There is one that causes a particular secretion such that the sperm or the fluid plus sperm, because it's not only sperm, right? The fluid and the sperm to actually leave the membrane of the man. So do you know which of those two glands is there? And without it, it would not be able to leave. You would actually end up with, no ejaculation.
I mean, every process or every step is important in whole process.
No, but specifically for
I'm not sure what you
hold on. Specifically for it to leave the man, okay, this has to be there. This gland has to be there. Otherwise, there's no production. It's not going to come out. The production will be there and it's just not going to leave. Do you know which gland it is?
You can tell me. I don't know.
Beautiful. So it's the
in
prostate.
which context you're talking about?
Yeah, so it's the prostate. The prostate, the prostate produces a particular, it secretes a particular hormone that allows for the sperm to not be stuck to the wall, right? So that it goes out very smoothly from the man. Okay?
Okay, fine.
Okay. So, my question, as it pertains to the leaving of the fluid from the man, okay, is there fluid in the man that leaves that is between the backbone and the ribs, as I've just explained to you, doctor?
But can you tell me any what the premises that you have said or the explanation that you have made, like the prostate is important thing for ejaculation? Can you tell me where you have got this? Can you show me any science that or any?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You want to see that the prostate is necessary for ejaculation?
Yes, please, yeah.
Okay, no problem. Very simple search. I said, is the prostate and bulbourethral gland necessary for ejaculation? Okay, simple. Yes, the prostate and bulbourethral glands are crucial for ejaculation, contributing vital fluids that nourish sperm, create semen's volume, neutralize acidity, and lubricate the urethra. All things which I have literally just explained to you. And I did that off the top of my head, doc. Come on, I'm not even a doctor yet. I'm not even a doctor yet. You're the doctor here. Come on, man.
Okay. I have told you everything. I have told you everything is important here. We can't skip a step. But this is not what I am talking about. Anyways, I think we can just leave it here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you should have a wonderful night's sleep thinking about that ayah tonight. Okay.
Okay, fine.
All right, I'm gonna move on to somebody else. I think I've answered enough questions for you today.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking me.
No problem. Have a good night. Dang, bro. The doctor got checked in tonight. The doctor has been checked into the hospital tonight, man. He's sleeping. I don't even know if he's gonna sleep tonight. He's definitely gonna have insomnia. He's gonna have insomnia and check himself into the doctor's office tonight.